Good morning students, welcome back in our online classes. Now today we are going to start the collections of the data, but in my last topic we have been discussed about the primary data and its functions also, and the features and significant features. Now let me proceed for the secondary data. What are the secondary data and what are the types of the secondary data? Secondary data are those data which have been already collected and analyzed by some earlier agency for its own use, and later the same data are used by the different agency. Secondary data are also known as the second hand data, which has already been used by some other companies, as well as for the population, as well as for the GDP of the country. But let me proceed for the what are the types of the data: the published sources and the unpublished sources. What is published sources? Various government, international and local agencies publish statistical data, and the chief among them are: the first one, it is known as the government publication and the international publications. International publications, what are these? International organizations such as the UNO, United Nations organizations, IMF, International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, Indian Labour Organizations, International Labour Organizations, and the foreign governments are also publish a lot of the statistical informations. These are used as secondary data. The second one, that is called the official publication of the central and the state government. Ministries of the central and the state government in India publish a variety of statistics as their routine activity. They provide the data of their own functions. As these are published by the government, data are fairly reliable. Some of the notable government publications on statistics are: Statistical Abstract, means the annual survey of industries, agriculture statistics of India, report on currency, banking structure, banking labor gazette, Reserve Bank of India bulletin, UN, the budget of the country. Actually, they publish these types of the data through the government publications. The semi-official publications, the semi-government known as, these bodies such as municipalities and the metropolitan council publish data relating to education, health, birth and death. These data are also fairly reliable and useful. Publication of research institutions. Various universities and research institutions publish information as finding of their research activities in India. For example, Indian Statistical Institute, National Council of Applied Economic Research publish a variety of the statistical data as a regular feature. These also provide the journals and the newspaper. Many newspapers, you all know that, such as the Economic Times, the Times of India, the Commerce Fact for Business Standard, they also supply a large variety of statistical information about the share market, about the currency, about the RBI, everything, who runs under the control of the government. Now let me proceed for the unpublished sources. What are these? There are some unpublished secondary data as well. These data are collected by the government, organizations and others, generally for their self-use of office record. These data are not published. These published numerical information may, however, be used as secondary data. According to the Professor Bowley, it is never safe to take published statistics as at their face value without knowing their meaning and limitations. And it is always necessary to criticize the government that can be based on them. What are the precautions in the use of the secondary data? The first one is suitability of the data. The second one that is called the adequacy, and the third one that is called the reliability. We know that the secondary data are collected by others to suit their specific requirement. Therefore, one need to be very careful while using this data. Connor has rightly stated, statistics, especially other people, statistics are full of the pitfall for the users. Some of the notable, whether the data are reliable, whether the data is suitable, whether the data are adequate. The first one that is called the ability of the collecting organizations. One should check the ability of the organization which initially collected the data. The data should be used only if it is collected by able, experienced and impartial investigator. What are the scope of that, the suitability of data under that? One should note the objective of collecting data as well as scope of investigations. The data should be used only if the objective and scope of the study are as undertaken. Method of collections. The method of collection of the data by the original investigator should be noted. About the adequacy of the data, the accuracy and the adequacy of data should be also checked. If the available data do not conform to the required degree of the accuracy, these should be discarded. These data under the secondary data that we used, the Census of India and the NSSO. Why do we use the Census of India? Why do we use these data for the Census of India and the NSSO? Census of India is the decennial publications of the Government of India. It is published by the Registrar General and the Census Commissioner in India. It is very comprehensive sources of secondary data, such as for size, growth rate and the distributions of population in India, population projections, density of populations, sex composition of population and the state of literacy. But why do we use for NSSO? That is called the Report and the Publication of National Sample Survey Office. Report and the publications of the NSSO is another important source of secondary data in India. NSSO is a government organization under the Ministry of Statistics and the program implementation. This organization conducts regular sample survey to collect basic statistical information relating to the variety of the economic activity in rural as well as the urban part of India. As for land and the livestock holding, housing conditions, employment and the unemployment status in India, sources of household income in India. Unlike Census of India, reports and the NSSO study of the population universe. It is the basic features that all the things have been discussed. Tomorrow we will go for the another chapter. That's all for the day. Thank you. Have a nice day.